Welcome to our podcast. So you want to talk about Christ, and we want to talk about Christ because we are reviewing this book written by Agnes Aneye, Sent to Heal a Wounded Nation. To discuss this book, I am not alone. I am with these lovely ladies. They will introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Geraldine Kokelo, and I am happy to be discussing this book today. It has a lot of context in our current situation as a country, and therefore, welcome to the podcast, and I hope you'll enjoy.
Right. Hello, my name is Grazia Njenga. I am very glad to join you once again in this episode to talk about the life and works of a wonderful priest, Father Peter Konteh, and his impact on the humanitarian activities in Sierra Leone. Karibuni.
Thank you very much. And so to keep the ball rolling, I invite Geraldine to take us through this book.
As Grazia has rightly said, this book is about the story of Father Peter Konteh. Father Peter Konteh is a Sierra Leonean priest who, on the day of ordination, the war in Sierra Leone, the civil war in Sierra Leone broke out. And therefore, as we get into this book, we're going to see how his life as a priest and as a citizen of Sierra Leone was impacted by the civil war, and how he managed to circumvent being a priest in such a situation. And we are glad to say that Father Peter Konteh is still alive. And we can talk about his story, and maybe we can get a few lessons from his story and from the story of Sierra Leone. So I want to read one quote from the book that will give us context into what this man was truly about. And it says, "Priesthood for me has always been about serving others. It is not about staying at the comfort of the parish house. It is about reaching out to those in need. Every day I ask myself, will what I am doing today help the poor, the weak, those who are marginalized? Will it help the women and the children? Will it make a positive impact on the lives of those the society has overlooked?" And this has been the life of Father Peter Konteh, and we want to see why he's so concerned about the poor, the weak, and those who are marginalized. Why is he thinking about the women and the children? Why is this so important to him?
It is true that Father Peter Konteh was inspired because of what was happening around, and he felt deeply called to do something, something to change the lives of other people, to change the lives of the poor, the women, those who are less privileged in the society. And he feels like it is inside him that he is pushed to do something to better the life of the poor and the less fortunate. So it's a special calling. Not everybody can afford that. I invite Grazia. What led to this war? What were the things that happened that led to this war in Sierra Leone?
Father Peter's life is quite remarkable. He lives, in the words of Pope Francis, like a shepherd who smells like his sheep, getting down, getting his hands dirty, rolling up his sleeves to ensure that his people live well through the conflict. And so against all this work he's doing is a backdrop of sorrow and violence and pain during an 11-year civil war in Sierra Leone, where there's been governments that's been ousted, democratically elected leaders who've been ousted by people who want power. The rebel front, the RUF, is formed at some point in the 90s, and it takes over first as a group that wants to liberate the people of Sierra Leone, but then, you know, over time the selfish interests come to play and they want to control the gold, the diamond mines and the economy of the nation, and they turn against the citizens. So there's a series of coups, and by the time Father Peter's work is coming into the limelight, it is during the time of military regime. So after a referendum has been conducted, there's been another elected leader, and then who is ousted. And this is a military junta. There's child soldiers all around. People are having their limbs cut off because, I mean, do you want peace after elections or elections after peace? You know, it's very twisted. And we see a priest who is not afraid to go and be there, do the ultimate sacrifice for the wellness of the people he is called to serve.
Yes. And maybe just to give more context again on that, the rebel front, the RUF that you just mentioned, they overthrew the first president. Mm-hmm. And then once they got power, as you said, they started dealing with gold. They were exchanging diamonds actually with ammunition. So when they by the time the government was realizing what was happening, they didn't know that the rebel group had gotten so much power. Yeah. And then you've also said about the amputations. Father Peter recalls that during that time, over 27,000 Sierra Leoneans lost their limbs in a nationwide amputation. I couldn't believe when I read that. And sometimes as a country, we call for civil war, but we do not know actually what that means. The price that could be paid when there's no peace in a country. So that is the context in which Father Peter is that the context of the country in which Father Peter is living in. And we even told, even as a child, remember that story where he ran away? They had to flee from their home because their father was being sought for.
Yeah, because his father was working in the police. He was a major, a high-ranking police officer, and you know he is among the first elite in Sierra Leone after colonization, and he is one who comes from London to establish the band that welcomes the Queen to Sierra Leone. And so after the Queen leaves, the juniors in the police force arrest their senior officers, because apparently there's money that was given out that they've not shared with the juniors, and it becomes...
Sounds like Kenya.
It does, in a way. It becomes, a sort of background that kind of prepares Father Peter for the kind of life he would face, having to run away, you're like the last born or something, and now everything has been turned over. You have to go hide away in a new country. You're running through forests. Your auntie and your mom are carrying everything you can carry on your back. It's quite the challenge, and we see how it shapes the heart of the man that is Father Peter. Yeah.
There is something that Father Peter Konteh said about his ordination. It was carried out in a hurry. When you were in war, the bishop did very fast the things. So for him, he didn't feel like it's a valid priesthood because of that rush.
That time, like the prostration when you're
they
didn't even touch the ground properly. That's how fast it was being done.
Yeah. So I think God has his own way of dealing with things like that. He didn't feel like it was a valid priesthood, but what he has done in his priesthood is a lot.
Because he says during the ordination, the hurry was because they were hearing gunshots from a distance, literally, and when they were getting to the time of reception, where people are going to eat, there was no one.
Yeah, I mean, it was being held at his parents' house, and so they go home to his parents' house. Like I said, his parents were part of the Sierra Leonean elite, so it's a nice house. Everyone wants to come party. You guys planned a party, so there's food, and you go home, and there's mountains of food, and there's no one. And he sits there, and the bishop suggests, "Sir, you're going to take this food and
take it to the
people who are in the camps running away from the displacements caused by the rebels in the war." And as much as he did not feel like a valid priest, as Sister has highlighted, you are literally going into the job. The commission of going to the world was for him very immediate. Take the food, go and start your ministry. And as hard as it might have been, I find it remarkable that he has the courage to step out. Yeah.
Again, this thing keeps popping up about how mothers really shape the actions of the mother, how the mother behaves towards the society, really shape how the kids see the world.
Life, yes.
Yeah, because according to him, food never missed in their house, because the mother always said, in case a visitor comes, there should always be food. She was so kind and generous to everyone who came to their house. This kind of generosity is really seen in the work of Father Peter Konteh. The way he treats his guests, the way he treats the people around him with so much kindness, you can see where it's coming from. It's stemming from how his parents were and how they related to the society.
So Father Peter has an interesting background. Sierra Leone is a beautiful country full of mountains and forests, and there's parts that have been unexplored.
Don't forget to buy this book. It's a must read for every Christian, every baptized Christian. Each one of us has been given this task to go and proclaim the word of God to all people, wherever you find yourself. So you can order also online, paulinesafrica.org.